Chapter 1 of The Fighting Shepherdess by Caroline Lockhart. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read for you by Dawn Larson in Minnesota. The Fighting Shepherdess by Caroline Lockhart. Chapter 1. The Sand Coulee Roadhouse. A heavily laden freight wagon, piled high with ranch supplies, stood in the doorway before a long log house. The yard was fenced with crooked cottonwood poles so that it served also as a corral, around which the leaders of the freight team wandered, stripped of their harness, looking for a place to roll. A woman stood on tiptoe, gritting her teeth in exasperation as she tugged at the check rein on the big wheel horse, which stuck obstinately in the ring. When she loosened it finally, she stooped and looked under the horse's neck at the girl of 14 or thereabouts, who was unharnessing the horse on the other side. "Good God, Kate!" exclaimed the woman irritably. "How many times must I tell you to unhook the traces before you do up the lines? One of these days you'll have the damnedest runaway in 7 states." The girl, whose thoughts obviously were not on what she was doing, obeyed immediately, and without replying looped up the heavy traces, throwing and tying the lines over the hames with experienced hands. The resemblance between mother and daughter was so slight that it might be said not to exist at all. It was clear that Kate's wide, thoughtful eyes, generous mouth, and soft, curving but firm chin came from the other side, as did her height. Already she was half a head taller than the short, wiry, tough-fibred woman with the small, hard features who was known throughout the southern half of Wyoming as Jezebel of the Sand Coulee. A long, flat braid of hair swung below the girl's waist, and on her cheeks a warm red showed through the golden tan. Her slim, straight figure was eloquent of suppleness and strength, and her movements, quick, purposeful, showed decision and activity of mind. They were as characteristic as her directness of speech. The Sand Coulee Roadhouse was a notorious place. The woman who kept it called herself Isabel Bain, Bain having been the name of one of the numerous husbands from whom she had separated to remarry in another state, without the formality of a divorce. She was noted not only for her remarkable horsemanship, but for her exceptional handiness with a rope and a branding iron, and her inability to distinguish her neighbors' livestock from her own. "Pete Mullendore's getting in." There was a frown on Kate's.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?